Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are honored and thrilled to have in the studio with us Kamin Samuel of Kamin Samuel Consulting, and that's just like 1/90th of what this wonderful person has done in her career. How you doing, Kamin?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Drew, for having me.
We're honored to have you, and it's a special day for us. Every once in a while, I get to have this great young co-host with me that really takes us all home and asks some great questions. And today we have Ashley Hilliard. She is a senior Girl Scout, and this is the second time she's been co-hosting the Spotlight shows with me and doing a wonderful job. How you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
I think you're going to enjoy this interview with this.
I think I am too.
Oh my goodness, this spectacular woman that's done so many things and so forth. But before we get to you, Kamin, if that's okay, it is Girl Scout cookie time,
Yes.
and you had mentioned you were a Girl Scout.
I was a Girl Scout.
Very, very good. So, talk a little bit about what's going on during cookie time, so to speak.
Yeah, so during cookie time, the girls they'll go door to door, they'll go sell at the booths, and they'll be selling their Girl Scout cookies. And through all of these sales, they get to learn goal setting, decision making, people skills, business ethics, money management, all those skills that are going to benefit them so much when they get older and they're going out into the real world.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been asking all of our guests, Kamin, on the show today, what their favorite Girl Scout cookie is. And so if you still like Girl Scout cookies, what's your favorite?
It would have to be the peanut butter ones.
Oh, the peanut butter chocolate or like the sandwich ones?
All peanut butter.
All the peanut. Those ones are good.
Very good. Doesn't surprise me. Very unique in your answer over here. Everybody else but Ashley had the same Thin Mint response, and that was mine as well. And what's yours?
I really like the Samoas, so the coconut caramel ones.
Those are good too.
Did you sell a lot when you were a Girl Scout?
I remember doing it, I think, just 2 years. So I did sell whatever I committed to.
Yes.
Right. Well, we're really, really pleased you're on the show here with us, Kamin. Before we get into your book, and it's a bestseller on Amazon, Wealth Creation for Coaches, a workbook to create a prosperous coaching practice, one small step at a time. Please talk about your military background.
Oh, well, thank you so much for asking, because that really was such a wonderful part of my life. And I spent 9 years in the military as a Navy CH-46 helicopter pilot, and had the opportunity to fly out of Norfolk and in the Mediterranean, and also ended the 9 years here in North Island being a flight instructor.
Well, one, thank you so much for your service. Just phenomenal. What got you in the military? Did you have a family that was in the military, or you said, I think I want to do this?
Well, it's actually an interesting story. My older brother was in ROTC.
Okay.
And so he would bring his gear home and leave it in his room, and I'd sneak in his room and I'd put it on, and he's 7 years older than I am, and I'd
beautiful.
be practicing my salute. And so it just kind of got in me. And my mom asked me my first semester senior year of college, like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm thinking about going to the military, and I wanted to see the world. And so it just kind of went through a course of things and ended up in aviation. It was tumultuous at best, but I got there.
That is absolutely fantastic. So, and helicopters, that was your choice, or that's where they put you?
Well, at the time, it was quite a while ago.
Right.
So women were not allowed to fly combat at the time.
Okay.
And so the CH-46 was the only combat-rated helicopter that we could fly.
Right.
And so that meant that I had more opportunities as I was growing my career.
Sure. No, that's fantastic. And how long were you in the military, you said?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
And then from there, where'd you go?
Well, I tried my hand at being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And failed miserably. I don't think I got the Girl Scout money management course. I think I slept through that one. And so ended up in bankruptcy and foreclosure, and really it was just a really difficult time in my life. And I had to go back to some of those skills that Ashley was talking about, of like really like goal setting, and got one of my passions is computers. So I learned web development, grew my career, got into corporate, and worked here in San Diego at Gateway Computers when it was here, and then moved up to LA at another company, and then realized that my passion really from elementary school was helping people, and that got me into coaching.
No, that's great. Ashley, what questions do you have?
Yeah, so I want to start off. I noticed that it said that you were the first female African-American helicopter pilot. How did that feel, like being able to be the first female African-American helicopter pilot in the Navy?
That's such a great question, Ashley. Scared.
Yes.
I was scared all the time. And mostly because I wanted to make sure I didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that all the women that came behind me had a chance.
Absolutely.
And if I was just barely making it, then that would leave kind of an issue for them. And so it really pushed me to work very hard to graduate out of flight school, number one in my class, and really to strive for excellence throughout my career.
That's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Well, and I'm sure, all of these experiences, from putting on your brother's gear from younger to, failing, and to being just a wonderful helicopter pilot, and then working for Gateway. And all those are just great learning experiences. And, and with that, certainly we all know that sometimes we have to fail to be successful. That is part of life in that area. So, Kamin, what got you to say, okay, tough enough to be a helicopter pilot? I'm going to do it. It might even be tougher to be an author. Okay, talk about what got you into writing a book.
Well, it's such a great question because it comes from failing, and it was really this. The impetus was saying, like, if I could survive this, let me help anybody not go through what I went through, and to share my story. And it took a long time for me. I wrote the book and I didn't put it out. The first book was Increase Your Abundance Starting Today. Actually, it was originally titled Journey to Abundance. Nobody wants the journey. So I changed it. But it was really that opportunity for me to share with people openly about what it means to recover from failure, what it means to move from identifying as a failure to, this did not work.
Right. We are chatting with Kamin Samuel. She's the owner, principal, coach of Kamin Samuel Consulting, entrepreneur, cool cat, great speaker, every coach, you name it in this, joined by my co-host, Ashley Hilliard, senior Girl Scout. I'm Drew Schlosberg, as you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. So you must have somewhere said, okay, listen, I can be very, very helpful to share some of the things that didn't work for me. But to be a coach isn't easy, to say the least, whether you're coaching actually an athletic team, or you're coaching an individual, or you're coaching a business team, in that aspect of it. What skill sets would you say has made you successful in being a good coach?
That's a great question.
I'm going to answer one for you right now. Your humility, your humility in wanting to do the right thing and to be very serious about doing the right thing. I've known you for a whole whopping 20 minutes, and so that's my assessment. And this is why you're going, Drew's an idiot, and I'm never coming back on the show.
Not at all.
Yeah, but is there a little truth to what I just said?
Yes. Okay. I think it's, coaches are generally all about helping people.
Right.
How do they move to their next, how to help someone move to their next level, how to help them sort through. And there's a big difference when we become a coach to step back from advice giving, which we do with our friends, to actually listening and cultivating listening. And that is one of the greatest skills that a coach can have is deep, deep listening. Because most people don't have someone who listens to them.
The reason why I'm smiling, is pretty much on almost every one of my podcasts with authors or people like you that are coaches. I always talk about listening, and they go, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I taught part-time at San Diego State, taught journalism. And my first lecture in each class was on listening." They go, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Nah, we threw everything out." And I used to, cite a study done by some research at the University of Minnesota. And you hit the nail on the head. And I did not coach her, Ashley. I did not tell her to say this. You don't need to coach a comedian anyway on anything. But I said, people hear, but they don't listen because they are already thinking about the next thing they want to talk about. And of course, if you're thinking about the next thing you want to talk about, you can't be really listening. So you are so spot on. It's something that we do so poorly, probably humans do poorly in this aspect of it. Do you have to train yourself to be a good listener?
Yes. And the reason is because our mind actually is trying to predict what the person's going to say. And so the more we can settle and empty our mind and just listen, and sometimes I teach some of my coaches, because I have a lot of coaches who work with me, is like just watch their lips. Don't think in your head anything. Just watch somebody. Just focus on the other person. Because I have a bunch of different degrees, one of which is a master's in spiritual psychology, and one of the skills we had to learn was silence. And we had to wait 20 seconds before we talked again. And when we were facilitating someone in an exercise, and 20 seconds is a long time. And so
it is a huge time, especially when you're on the radio,
yes,
right? Right, Ashley?
Right.
Now, Ashley, are you a good listener?
I like to think so, but I'm not sure other people would agree.
Yeah, it's in the eyes of the beholder also.
Exactly.
On that. And that's a very, very, very good point on this. What type of skill sets, when you folks are going through all your Girl Scout classes and all that, do you focus on when it ties into listening or thinking or hearing?
We definitely try to make sure that if you're working in a group with other Girl Scouts, you definitely try to make sure that everybody gets to share their opinion, that everybody else is listening. You're not just, okay, well, you talk so that we could hear your opinion, but now let's go back to what I was saying. You got to make sure that you hear everybody out and you consider everybody's ideas depending on whatever you're doing.
Right. That's really good advice on this. We're chatting with Kamin Samuel. She's the owner and principal coach of Kamin Samuel Consulting, a long storied career in the military, now author of the Amazon bestseller, Wealth Creation for Coaches, a workbook to create a prosperous coaching practice, one small step at a time. What comes with all of this aspect of it is, what I love that people rarely do is follow up. They've had a conversation and then they're off to, outer space and they ever come back on this. How much when you were working with your clients, other coaches or whatever the case may be, that you're laser beamed on follow-up?
Follow-up is key. So when I'm working with someone, the methodology that I learned in coaching really comes from my co-author, which is Steve Chandler, and they call him the godfather of coaching. and it's really this ability for us to give people an experience of us. Well, I come from an education background, so I'm all about homework. So when I spend, 90 minutes with somebody in the very first call to hear, because really I'm listening for what is really the challenge that they're going through, then I want to see and follow up with them another week later to find out what actually is going on with them. How did they go through that week? What occurred? If they said they were going to do something, what happened if they didn't do it? I'm more excited sometimes when they didn't do it, because it tells me a lot of what's actually happening in their mindset.
Right, makes sense. We come back from break. Kamin, want to talk more about your book. Want to talk about some of those really key tips, with coaching and so forth. I know Ashley has a bunch of questions for you as well. You must be a highly sought after speaker. I can tell you that right now. So I don't know, maybe Ashley's got something cooked up, but you're going to speak to our Girl Scout group if that's okay. At least I would do that if I was Ashley. And we'll chat about that. And then even more importantly, Kamin, what can our listeners do to support your efforts? Either certainly buy your book, wouldn't hurt, but help out with the coaching or whatever the case may be. So give some thought to that. How's that sound?
I will.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for 60 years. Joined by my wonderful co-host Ashley Hilliard and our terrific guest Kamin Samuel. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Mission Fed Credit Union's beautiful studios here in Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed's been doing terrific things for San Diegans for more than 60 years, joined by Kamin Samuel, owner, principal coach of Kamin Samuel Consulting, author, retired Navy helicopter pilot, cool cat, and everything in between, and joined by my colleague, the inimitable, which is a very positive thing.
Yes.
Our senior Girl Scout and my co-host, Ashley Hilliard. Ashley, you got a question for Kamin?
Yeah, so I just want to start off by asking, what do you think was the biggest challenge that you faced when you were writing your book?
That's a great question, Ashley, because when you're writing something, it's usually a solitary experience. Yeah. And so it's the same in most areas of our life. It's my own mind. So my mind will get in there and say, who's going to read this? This isn't any good. And it sometimes uses expletives that I won't use on the air. And so the ability to push through, the ability just to keep on a timeline, even if I fabricated the timeline myself, just to keep moving forward to get it done and then worry about the editing. Because we can't edit and write at the same time. We'll never get there.
That's right. So was it tough first getting those words on paper? I know I'd worked as a curriculum developer for San Diego Unified a billion years ago. And I always used to tell, my colleague always wrote actually a curriculum piece called Words on Paper. You gotta put the words on the paper. Don't worry what the words look like. They could be gobbledygook, but get the words on paper. That's important, is it not?
It is. And so part of my process is to get up generally about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and to write. And I actually write in my closet.
Really?
So, yes.
Because of the serenity?
Well, in the serenity, it doesn't disturb my husband, and so it's just like this cocoon. And I feel safe, and I can write, and it is just darken the page. That's what Steve Chandler, who's written like 45, but he's just darken the page. And so it's just mostly get the concepts out. Somebody can help shape it later, and that's for really all the authors out there who aren't maybe moving their projects along. Is just keep darkening the page and make it routine.
So let me ask you this. We have a lot of authors that come on my Spotlight on the Community Show, and I love chatting with them for a variety of reasons. And I always ask them this question. What are one of the great inherent things that are in your DNA that you need to have in your DNA as a writer? And I said, is one of them thick skin?
Yes.
And everyone to a T says, oh yeah, that's number one.
Thick skin and the ability to quiet our mind when it thinks it's protecting us. So a lot of the work that I do with coaches and business owners is really our mind thinks it's protecting us from some danger that's out there, some rejection. And so it does whatever it can to keep us from putting words on paper or moving towards our dreams.
Right, without question. So when it comes to coaching, and someone thinks, I think I could be a good coach, what would you say they should ask themselves before they jump into this field?
Wow. I think they should ask themselves, one, are they a good listener? Mm-hmm. Two, do they have determination? Right? Can they keep moving forward? There's going to be a lot of no's. It's not a personal no. It is simply that whatever is on offer does not reach the person that they're working with.
Right.
So the ability to have perseverance and fortitude and keep growing their craft. This is the only profession really that personal development is important as professional development. And they have to read, they have to learn, they have to be coached. Because there's no other way to know some of the language or some of the questions back and forth. And so it helps with their own professional development to have a coach that helps them with their mindset, helps them with their goal setting, helps them progress, helps them test in their life.
Right, exactly. So were you coached?
Yes.
And was it by whom?
It was by the co-author of this book.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Okay, now you've got a wonderful spouse who I'm sure is very supportive of your work.
Yes.
Okay, right. Is it hard not to coach him?
Very. It's very hard. And there's a very clear line. I had to learn and I had to ask. And that's another thing about coaches. We have to ask permission to coach.
Right.
And there were times when he said no. And I had to kind of go in my mind to Hawaii so that I wouldn't accidentally coach him.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's interesting, and that's so true. You got to step back and say, no, wait a minute here. I'm not the only person in the world that's done a podcast, or I'm not the only one in the world that's done X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And I've got to remind myself because sometimes you get so enthusiastic and you want to share your 2 cents on this, and that. Wait a minute here. I need to be quiet and listen to some of this. We're chatting with Kamin Samuel. She is the owner and principal coach of Kamin Samuel Consulting and author with Steve Chandler, the guru of coaching, I guess, or getting
Godfather,
close to Godfather of coaching. Thank you very much. And her best seller with him, Wealth Creation for Coaches, a workbook to create a prosperous coaching practice, one small step at a time, joined by my co-host, Senior Girl Scout Ashley Hilliard. Got any more questions for Kamin?
Yeah, I actually do have one more question for you. Do you do any kind of community outreach? Do you go speak to people? What kind of things do you do like that?
Well, Ashley, I sit on a board up in LA. I sit on Educare Foundation, which is one of the largest after-school program providers for the LAUSD. And it's really one of my passions because we're really talking about teaching kids compassion and heart skills and how they relate to each other. I also do some speaking with the military. I'm going to be speaking soon at the Gravely Experience and at the USS Iowa up in San Pedro. And so really, I love to work with and share with anyone, again, the things that I've learned in my life that might help others, move through things. I have a kind of, call it a blessing orientation to life. Many people don't have that and really help people to see all the opportunities around them.
Wonderful.
Yes. So we've got about a minute or so to go. What comments do you have to our listeners that they can help you with your book or with your coaching or anything in between?
Well, I think one of the big things that I would say to people is like I said about the blessing orientation, is have a testing orientation. Many times that people create, they have a vision for their life, but then whatever the strategy was didn't work out. But then they call themselves a failure. I did that. And they drop the vision. And the most important thing is to really go testing. I work with clients in a money lab. They call it the money lab for coaches, to really help people get that testing orientation. I'm just going to test this out, see if this works for me. If it doesn't, it's okay. Let's just choose a different strategy. Let's keep going.
Well, I encourage everyone to pick up this book. It's got some really compelling chapters, the inner game, what blocks your health, designing your next level up the spiral staircase, and so forth. A great book to pick up. I can tell you, if you want to have a wonderful conversation with this wonderful community leader in Southern California. Give her a ring up. How do they get a hold of you?
They can go to KaminSamuel.com, and that's K-A-M as in Mike, I-N as in November, Samuel, Samuel.com. And there's my book, the Money Lab. There's a lot of free resources. There's another link that if somebody wants some additional free resources, which is the Wealth Flight School. And so they can get a lot of PDFs and audios from me as well.
Well, listen, what a delight chatting with you, Kamin. Promise you'll come back on somewhere down the road?
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you, Ashley. You're a wonderful co-host.
Thank you so much. You were so wonderful to interview. I love talking to you.
Love talking to you too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We've been chatting with Kamin Samuel, owner, principal coach, Kamin Samuel Consulting. I'm Drew Schlosberg, joined by my co-host, Ashley Hilliard, a senior Girl Scout, on Drew Schlosberg Spotlight in the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.